All right, here we go. Brother President, thank you so much for taking a few minutes. Just talk for a moment about the passing of Brother Representative Lewis and what his legacy means for you and for the fraternity.
First of all, thanks for the question. You think about a civil rights icon like the Honorable John Lewis, and then you think about him inside of our fraternity. He was a Sigma giant. And, we know the history of Brother Lewis, very active in the civil rights movement, one of the youngest speakers for the March on Washington in 1963. He did that march in August. I was born in September of that year. But we also know all of the great work he did around the March on Selma during Bloody Sunday, how he and SNCC were young leaders. And that's the part I think we forget. Congressman Lewis was a young man, and he was very instrumental in driving civil rights change that has lasted for a very long time. Not too far after that March on Selma, we saw the Voting Rights Act take place. And so when we think about history and we think about some of the rights that we have as citizens, particularly for African Americans, we have to show a tremendous amount of gratitude to Congressman Lewis. And, when we look inside of our fraternity, the greatest and the most prestigious recognition our members get is the National Distinguished Service Honor. And Brother Lewis received that honor at Conclave, Detroit in 2017. And I was there as International First Vice President, and it was during that conclave that I got elected International President. And so I certainly had an opportunity to congratulate him and to thank him. But what a great loss. When you hear his congressional peers refer to him as the conscience of the United States Congress, is because he understands the value and he understands the connection with the regular common person, and how do he bring that voice and that presence within one of the most respected institutions in the world. And he did that on the regular. And so tough day for us, tough experience for us, but boy, if there ever is an opportunity to celebrate life, we have that opportunity with the Honorable Congressman Lewis.
You don't often hear of someone who leaves the front lines of fighting in a civil rights movement to take that fight to Congress, and that's exactly what he did. And I think his example is a shining light to young people around the country, really around the world.
Yeah, and it really gives a tremendous amount of value to that phrase, Black Lives Matter. While that wasn't the phrase in the 60s, that's what he was championing. And he was championing it in a very strong way as a young man, a college-educated man, but really working towards advancing policies and advancing a different way of life for regular people. And I think that's the part that when you get in whatever prestigious position you might achieve, you got to always be reminded what's your purpose. To whom much is given, much is required. And he reflected that, I believe, all the time. And so, yeah, when you think about what he was doing as a young man, when you think about all of the social unrest that's going on in our country today, and you think about the era that he was becoming of life and becoming of great relevancy, it's still some of the things that he was focusing on to today. And this world, this country, the state of Georgia, the United States Congress, all of those places are better places because of the presence of the Honorable Congressman Lewis.
Brother President, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Let me